Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Dragon Squad, a Hong Kong action flick from 2005 that has a loaded cast, and it was directed by Daniel Lee, the man who previously directed Black Mask. Fun fact, Steven Seagal was executive producer for this, at least that's what I've read. The following plot synopsis was taken from the website Love HK Film. F4 member Vanish Wu stars as Hao, a Chinese-American cop who joins forces with Hong Kong cop Lok, played by Sean Yu. Former undercover policewoman Suet, played by Ava Huang. Former British operative James, played by Lawrence Shu. And mainland sniper Lu, played by Xia Yu. Together, these 5 young kick-ass cops form the Dragon Squad, though they never get assigned that awesome name in the actual movie. Instead, they're generally disregarded and told to get out of the way like the meddlesome kids they are. It's almost like Gen X cops crossed with Scooby-Doo. It's not really what the movie is, but these guys at Love HK Film love their descriptive lines. But originally, these 5 protagonists have to bring a mohawked bad guy to trial. They're transporting him. But the bad guy gets nicked by a group of international mercenaries who are the bad guys here, led by American-Colombian Petros, played by Michael Biehn, of all people. Among his ace bad guy group are Korean ex-soldier Ko, played by Huh Jun-ho, who's been in some awesome K-dramas over the years, and Vietnamese sniper Song, played by Maggie Q. So this cast already is insane, and the cast list does not stop there. Additional cast members, okay? Sammo Hung, Lee Bingbing, Simon Yam, Isabella Long, Philip Ng, and Andy On. Like, are you serious right now? I mean, with that said, though, Dragon Squad has some problems. It has some significant flaws, and I can understand why some people were disappointed by it when it came out back in the day. I've been a fan of this one since I originally saw it back in the day, but I can understand. First of all, it uses a poor script as its foundation. The character development is like wafer thin for just about every character. And the story is like basic stuff, with a simple conflict between different factions of criminals taking focus at times. There are so many characters in this movie. You just listen to the cast list alone. It just feels a little bit too fragmented. The narrative, it does make sense what happens, but it lacks a natural flow. And it doesn't really properly build drama and anticipation for, the action set pieces. In terms of brainless action, the characters are still moderately entertaining. For example, at one point, Vanish Wu explains that he cannot shoot accurately with a gun while he's standing still. But he's super accurate when he's moving around. It's like, what? like stuff like you have to be the type of viewer that gets entertainment from nonsense like this. And it's nice to see Michael Biehn as a formidable villain in a Hong Kong action movie. I've been a fan of his for years. Ever since the Terminator and all that stuff. And we do spend a good amount of time with him and his baddie comrades. That's a criticism I have of a lot of action movies. When the bad guy doesn't get enough screen time, he actually does get enough screen time here. There are some nice little standoffs between the good guys and the bad guys throughout the movie, which, does set up some fun rematches later on. All of the actors are likable in their roles, but the performances themselves feel a bit off at times. Some of the acting and line delivery is just a bit stiff and stilted, and that does result in a few awkward, cheesy moments. In terms of direction, Dragon Squad incorporates a very movement-heavy camera with lots of editing. Very energetic and engaging presentation, but it's a bit too frenetic at times. It almost feels over-edited. Freeze framing is used with reckless abandon. I love freeze framing when it's used at times, but wow, with this movie. In some sense, this is an overly stylized movie. We get black and white shots mixed in, slow motion, fast motion, zoom in, zoom outs, step framing. It's like the filmmakers just threw everything at this movie. It's visually interesting, but if you get annoyed by a constantly moving camera and lots of edits, this may rub you the wrong way. It's very modern in a mid-2000s kind of way. In my opinion, though, the action is still entertaining enough. There are some sufficiently bloody shootouts early on, which helps to maintain a fast pace. This is a pretty violent movie. I'll give it credit for that. There's a machete versus tea kettle fight involving Samo, which was pretty neat. The best action scenes, though, are backloaded into the second half, like starting at the midpoint through the end. The highlight is a very fun alleyway gun battle that features a massive quantity of intense gunfire. That scene, I think, makes the movie worth watching. You got a villain walking on the ground, engaging in a shootout with the good guys, and you get two snipers on the rooftops that are sniping at each other and shooting at the men below at the same time. And it's mostly cover fire with lots of inaccurate gun shooting that are used to extend the battle, but it's a fun scene, and it has a high-octane feel to it. You know, it definitely has that octane that you want. The finale is pretty lengthy, and it's basically a series of one-on-one finales, one-on-one duels, most of which are pretty good. We get a sniper duel in a cemetery, a sword fight involving Samo, and a showdown with Michael Biehn, and a few other little things. It's a nice mix of different kinds of action. I do prefer my action set pieces that are more traditional and proper in terms of their camera work, editing, that type of thing. But I will admit, I did enjoy the action in this movie. I did. At the end of the day, I think Dragon Squad is entertaining action trash, to put it nicely. If you decide to watch this, expect overly stylized visuals, okay? But, yeah, I don't know. I would say I cautiously recommend this if you're a fan of entertaining action trash. It's currently streaming on YouTube, and it's also available on DVD. What did you think of this one? Are you one of the minority that likes this movie? I think the majority of people don't like it. But, let me know. As always, folks, I'll see you next time.